Israeli government has blamed the Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese, over the father and son terrorist act of mass shooting in Bondi Beach on Sunday evening around 6:47 p.m. in accordance with Australia local time, leading to the killing of 16 persons, including one of the suspected terrorists and a 10-year-old girl, and 42 others sustained injuries, according to the Premier of New South Wales State, Christopher Minns, when members of the Jewish community in the Sydney City of Australia came out in large numbers on day one to celebrate this year's Hanukkah festival. The Israeli government, through the video statements made by the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, during government meeting in Dimona and when he lit the first Hanukkah candle in Israel later on Sunday, said, "There may be more terrorist attacks on the Jewish people because the Australia government is weak. We know there will be additional attacks. The safest place for the Jewish people in the world is where the government, the army, and the security forces will defend them," saying, on August 17, 2025, he wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of Australia wherein he said, "Your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorists. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act. I call upon you to replace weakness with action, appeasement with resolve. Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country. You took no action. You let the disease spread, and the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today." In a tweet posted through his personal verified X social media account few hours ago, Australia Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said, "In moments like this, we must come together. Australia stands united against hatred and terror." Speaking during the news conference on Sunday, Australia's Home Minister, Tony Burke, gave more details about the gunmen, who happened to be father and son, Sajid Akram and Naveed Akram. He says the father arrived in Australia in 1998 on a student visa. The son, who we know is Naveed Akram, is an Australian-born citizen. The father, a 50-year-old, was killed at the scene, taking the total number of dead to 16, while his 24-year-old son is in a critical condition in hospital. Local media reported that both men pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group, adding that Naveed first came to authorities' attention in October 2019, but the Australian Prime Minister said an assessment was made that there was no indication of any ongoing threat or threat of him engaging in violence. His father arrived in Australia on a student visa in 1998, which was transferred in 2001 to a partner visa and later resident return visas. Meanwhile, the man who tackled one of the gunmen to the floor and saved people from getting shot at Bondi Beach in Australia was identified as Ahmed Al-Ahmed. He was shot during the incident and is currently recuperating in a hospital. New South Wales State Premier Christopher Minns said in numbers of posts between Sunday and Monday that, "Tonight, I made the decision to light the Sydney Opera House with candles on the menorah, marking the second day of Hanukkah. In the wake of this horrific attack, it is more important than ever that the Jewish community in New South Wales knows they do not stand alone. We cannot, and we will not allow Jewish Australians to feel they must hide their faith, their traditions, their religious celebrations, or their identity. Lighting the Opera House is a simple but powerful gesture, a message to the world that we cherish our Jewish community, that we honor their courage, and that we stand with them in solidarity and love. Tonight, those candles are a symbol of resilience and a reminder that even in darkness, we choose to stand with one another." Ahmed is a real-life hero. Last night, his incredible bravery no doubt saved countless lives when he disarmed a terrorist at enormous personal risk. It was an honor to spend time with him just now and to pass on the thanks of people across New South Wales. There is no doubt that more lives would have been lost if not for Ahmed's selfless courage. Thank you, Ahmed. Tonight, on the second night of the Jewish festival of Hanukkah, we laid wreaths to honor and pay tribute to the victims of the horrific terrorist attack in Bondi and their families. 15 innocent people who lost their lives in a targeted attack against the Jewish community on the first night of their festival of Hanukkah. The monumental outpouring of sympathy, emotions, flowers, and memorial stones is emblematic of the Australian spirit. Even in the face of sheer, wanton violence, we will not be broken. Hanukkah is the Jewish festival of lights. On this, the second night of Hanukkah, we light candles together and unite against the darkness. Today I met with Jewish community leaders to reaffirm that New South Wales stands with them during this incredibly dark time. We are grieving alongside them. This horrific act of violence demands an overwhelming response. Operation Shelter is being strengthened. More than 320 police are being deployed today, and we will continue to increase that number. I want to be clear, especially for our Jewish community, that New South Wales police are there to protect them, to keep them safe, and that they have every right to celebrate their faith and enjoy this festive period free from the fear and sorrow caused by this terrible violence. It is my sad duty to update that 15 innocent victims are confirmed deceased following the horrific, targeted attack on the Jewish community at Bondi Beach. I want to be crystal clear that we strongly repudiate anti-Semitism in all of its forms, and there is no tolerance for racism or hatred in New South Wales or Australia. And we will wrap our arms around the Jewish community and let them know that every Australian stands with them. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a video press release during the government meeting in Dimona on Sunday, said, "On August 17th, about 4 months ago, I sent Prime Minister Albanese of Australia a letter in which I gave him warning that the Australian government's policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia. I wrote, 'Your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorists. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act. I call upon you to replace weakness with action, appeasement with resolve.' Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country. You took no action. You let the disease spread, and the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today. We saw an action of a brave man, turns out a Muslim brave man, and I salute him, that stopped one of these terrorists from killing innocent Jews. But it requires the action of your government, which you are not taking. And you have to, because history will not forgive hesitation and weakness. It will honor action and strength. That's what Israel expects of each of your governments in the West and elsewhere. Because the disease spreads and it will consume you as well. But we are worrying right now about our people, our safety, and we do not remain silent. We fight those who try to annihilate us. They're not only trying to annihilate us, they attack us because they attack the West. In Syria we saw yesterday 2 American soldiers killed and 1 American interpreter killed as well. Killed because they represent our common culture. Now, as a result of this, Secretary of War Peter Hegseth said the following. He said, "Let it be known that if you target Americans anywhere in the world, you will spend the rest of your brief anxious life knowing the United States will hunt you, find you and ruthlessly kill you. We send our condolences to the people of America, and I want to say that our policy is exactly that policy. That's why those who target Israelis, target our soldiers, try to kill them or try to hurt them and wound them, as happened in Gaza yesterday, we take action. They will spend the rest of the brief anxious lives knowing that Israel will hunt them, find them and ruthlessly dispose of them. That is American policy. This is Israel's policy. It's our policy in Gaza, in Lebanon, anywhere around us. We do not sit by and let these killers kill us." Also said, during the ceremony, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife Sarah Netanyahu, at the National Police Academy, lit the first Hanukkah candle together with National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir and his wife Ayala, and the Israel Police Inspector General, Danny Levy at the Hanukkah ceremony that was attended by the family of the National Counterterrorism Unit fighter, Master Sergeant Ranjivili, of blessed memory, who fought bravely on October 7th and was taken hostage to Gaza. Israel Police Chief Rabbi Rami Berekiahu, the senior police command staff, and male and female police officers, according to the news release made available by the Office of the Prime Minister of Israel, that we will bring Ran back, just as we brought back 254 out of our 255 abductees. Some did not believe. I believe. My friends in the government believed. They said, it will be a miracle. I said, this nation performs miracles. The Holy One, blessed be He, helps a people who help themselves. We are a people who have learned to help ourselves, because we knew that in times of distress, it is not certain that anyone else will help us. This was largely our fate in exile, with waves of anti-Semitism that kept returning, rising, returning, rising, and returning, rising. What changed with the establishment of the State of Israel was not the disappearance of anti-Semitism but our ability to repel the massacres and mass murders against Jews, which always followed numerous accusations, lies, and insults. That is the change. Even today, they try to murder, and sadly, even today they succeeded in murdering Jews. They massacred Jews in Sydney, Australia. 4 months ago, I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of Australia. I told him, your policy encourages terrorism. It encourages anti-Semitism. You call for a Palestinian state, and you are essentially giving a prize to Hamas for the terrible massacre they carried out on October 7th. You are legitimizing all these rioters and you are not lifting a finger to eliminate these terror hotspots. This will lead to more murders. He did nothing. We know there will be additional attacks. The safest place for the Jewish people in the world is where the government, the army, and the security forces will defend them. That is first and foremost in the State of Israel, because we defend ourselves, and we defend ourselves with the help of the IDF, with the help of the security forces, and with the help of the brave male and female officers of the Israel Police. Honored guests and friends, National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, his wife Ayala, the Police Inspector General, the Command Staff, and the Academy graduates, you were on the first line of defense on October 7th. I do not forget that. I was on the line and I saw the line of the heroes and heroines, the female police officers who fought and fell, and the male police officers who fought and fell. A tremendous hero, Ranjivili, simply fought until the last bullet with a broken arm, but with an unwavering spirit. Somehow we returned to our land after the exile imposed upon us. And the first thing we had to renew was our capacity for self-defense. This is what we have been doing over the past 2 years with renewed vigor and great success. We essentially represent the free world, modern civilization, against the barbarians who want to return us to the Middle Ages. That is what they want. And like in the days of the Maccabees, they hesitate, the few against the many. We are a nation of about 10 million against many, against the enemies who only recently fought us as 200 million. True, they attacked us, they caused us an unbearable disaster on October 7th, but on October 8th, it already turned around. We went and struck them clockwise. First in Gaza, then in Lebanon, then in Syria, also in Iraq, and above all, in Iran. No one believed in the miracles and wonders in those days and in this time. But we believed. You believe. I want to commend you, police officers of Israel. Continue to believe. Continue to safeguard us and also safeguard one another. Thank you very much on behalf of the people of Israel throughout the generations. Happy Hanukkah to all of you. Australia Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, in a post tweeted on his X social media platform a few hours ago, said, "In moments like this, we must come together. Australia stands united against hatred and terror." In numbers of tweets since the attack on Sunday, the Australia Prime Minister said, "Tonight and over the coming days, we are holding the Jewish community close. For the 8 nights of Hanukkah, Jewish families around the world fill their windows with light, something that has been passed down through generations. Tonight, I am lighting a candle in solidarity with the Australian Jewish community. Because when anti-Semitism and hate rears its ugly head, we don't shy away. We will confront the darkness with light. Together, today I convened National Cabinet to respond to the act of terror and anti-Semitism in Bondi last night. We stand with Jewish Australians and we stand against hatred and violence. Australia is stronger than those who try to divide us, and we will come through this together. The dedication and commitment of police officers was on full display last night, when off-duty officers turned up to Bondi to help. They are the best of Australia. I received a briefing at Bondi Police Station and was able to thank many officers personally. Thank you to all our police for your courage and your service. Australia will not be divided by hate or violence. We will confront it head-on. And we will stand together in solidarity with Jewish Australians and with one another. Yesterday was a dark day in our nation's history. But we are stronger than the cowards who did this. We refuse to let them divide us. Australia will never submit to division, violence or hatred, and we will come through this together. We had reported that not less than 11 persons, said to be mostly from the Jewish community and police officers, were shot dead by terrorists on Sunday at Bondi Beach in the Sydney city of Australia, as thousands came out to mark this year Hanukkah or Hanukkah festival, a festival that is known as the Jewish Festival of Lights, usually an 8-day winter celebration marking event of the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem and a miraculous long-lasting oil supply, observed by lighting candles on a menorah, Chanukah, and reciting special prayers, and eating oily foods like latkes and sufganiyot, which symbolizes Jewish resilience and freedom. The terrorists attacked the Jewish community on the first day of the festival after Israel government had on Saturday authorized the killing of a senior Hamas commander, Raad Saad, Israel, through a statement issued by the Office of the Prime Minister of Israel, stated that, in recent days, Raad Saad had been engaged in rehabilitating the terrorist organization, planning and carrying out attacks against Israel and rebuilding an attack force, in blatant violation of the ceasefire rules and Hamas's commitments to adhere to the US President Donald Trump's plan, stating, instead of promoting demilitarization, he was engaged in rearming for acts of terrorism. Although Israel government has not issued any statement since the Sunday attacks on Jewish community in Sydney as at the time of filing in this news report on Sunday, but Hamas, in a news report published by Al Jazeera, confirmed that Saad had since been killed by Israeli soldiers in the Gaza city of Palestine. One of the video footages of the Sunday attack on the Jewish community in Sydney showed a moment an apparent very brave man disarmed one of the gunmen during the mass shooting, overpowered the suspected terrorist, collected the gun and turned the gun against the suspected terrorist without shooting him, and the suspect gets away, then joins another suspected terrorist shooter who continues firing from a bridge.
Osazuwa Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.